if they heal, we have a 26k number that hits over the heal, and it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good unless they double heal. We're gonna counter charge. That's very nice. And not gonna discard a draw. I think the PGs are good. PGs are good. Draw trigger is good. Drawing into heal, that's fine. We're gonna do that again. And this time, do they still have heals? They have 3. They have 3. Why did I have to mention this? Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing 8 deck profile on one of the best decks in the new format. It's at 20, and that is obviously Kagero with the Perdition Legion support. It's honestly the most simple deck out there with the most reward for piloting it. You know, there are other really strong contenders in the metagame like Bermuda. That definitely is a much more high effort deck. You know, if you want smooth sailing on ladder, if you want to just turn off your brain, you know, and enjoy the fun and just, you know, burn everything down, then this is the deck for you. So I guess without further ado, let's talk about it. There's a lot of different variants, and I'm just going to highlight one specific one that's been working the best for me, as well as another, you know, ladder climber right now. I believe that just hit legend 100. So yeah. So this is the list that I'm playing. It is based from Narissa. So Narissa is one of the KOE members and has been climbing with a variant of this for quite a while now. So got a lot from that. But let's just start with the core. So these kind of cards you can't go wrong with. Conroe, you can't go wrong with. It helps you search for anything you want. PGs is the basic option, but you have other options like filtering with Gojo, Eremo, and also, of course, if you play Novel, then obviously Novel Roman is a very great pick. In terms of PGs, generally speaking, honestly, any mix is fine. You don't really need the Perdition name, but it's nice because it's a Perdition deck, I guess. But these basically act as new PGs, so if you have the Seal Dragon ones, those work fine as well. I play 3 of these and 1 of the Bari, because sometimes against decks such as the Mirror Match, when your opponent has Strike In, the Bari can help mitigate those crits when you're on 3, so you have some more breathing space later on. It's at 1 because generally speaking you want to prefer the new type of PGs, but in some cases you want the Bari, and because we play Conroe, I can afford to play this kind of weird like 3-1 split. Novel Roman is a pretty basic pick. You play 4 of this because you play Novel Vag. This card is great, even better right now, because when you're in Legion, we have mates that are grade 2, which means that when you're in Legion state, you can actually use the skill because your Vanguard, one of your Vanguards are grade 2 or less. So you target the Vanguard that's grade 2 or less, and so you can actually return the Novel Vag from your hand to your deck and pick up a grade 3 of your choice, which is very, very amazing. 4 Gojos and 1 Eremo to help you filter. Legion, you need to fill up your drop zone, you need to get rid of those triggers or other dead cards. We picked Eremo instead of the other 7k on place, discard 1, draw 1, because Eremo is less conditional and helps you get things going faster and for more turns when it's on the board. For the grade 2s, we're playing 4 Strike In. I think this is a staple for Kagero decks for now. Helps you get that crit pressure, helps you combo and apply some pressure and damage to 9 as well. 3 Bellicosities. I think I've been always playing Bellicosity at 3, even though you could have been playing it at 4. On hit counter charge, it's very nice because Kagero does counter blast a lot. So definitely very valuable, especially a turn 2 play like a Conroe, and then a Bellicosity is quite the norm. So that's something that you can definitely do. We play 4 Whirlwind Dragon, 12k beater, but most importantly, you can use it as a Persona Blast skill for your Legion Vanguard, Vortex Dragonewt. So let's talk about that later. And we play 2 Novel Critic Dragons. Of course, we're not playing this at 4 anymore. We're not playing Berserk Dragon as well, because you have other ways to retire, and it could be more devastating. So definitely still a great pick. You know, if you want to play more retire options in your grade 2 turn, then you can definitely drop some Strike-ins or Bellicosities, but and then you have to consider how it balances out with the rest of your deck. For the grade 3s, we are going to be playing the main grade 3. It's Vortex Dragonewt. This is our new key unit, Perdition Dragon. Allegiance with Whirlwind Dragon. If you're in Legion, Caramelast 2, discard a card with the same name as your Vanguard, so that's a Persona Blast. To retire 2 of your opponent's grade 2 or lower rearguards. Then, if your opponent's damage has 4 or less cards, deal 1 damage and nullify the trigger effects of that damage dealt. That is pretty amazing. You know, I've shut down draws, I've shut down heals that could have, you know, affected the numbers that I was building up. You know, retiring 2 grade 2s or less means getting rid of 2 front row intercepts. That's a possibility. Very, very devastating, and lives up to its name of Perdition Dragon. Of course, when your opponent's rearguard is retired due to your card effect, it gets +3. So when you use this card's skill and retire 2 units, it becomes +6k. Becomes a 26k number. It's good numbers, you know. It's good numbers. That's really all that matters in this game. Next, we play 4 Noble Vag as a heal. Reason being is because your other options are better chosen as a draw, you know, option. You have more opportunities to return Noble Vag from your hand to your deck. So I'm more comfortable playing this as heal now. And you know, it's less of a ride option these days because you'd rather be on your Legion. But sometimes when your opponent's at 5 and doesn't have, you know, a lot of intercepts or whatever, or you're out of counterblast, sometimes you want to push. Know your opponent does have PGs, then you shut down those 6 damage heals and you guarantee the game. You know, so that's very, very nice. We play 4 the ends, and honestly, I didn't like the ends when I started playing the deck. You know, when I started testing, I tried the other Legion pair. Unfortunately, those are quite underwhelming. You know, mowing down a column isn't really that good compared to on paper. I played the Break Ride build, and the Break Ride build requires too much setup. You know, the opponent can outgrind Kagero because Kagero doesn't really draw, right? And so, you know, the only way to mitigate the issue that Kagero doesn't draw is the end, which lets you on hit Caramelast 2, Persona Blast to stand it and draw 2 cards. And this is the way, you know, it still combos well with Strike In. And it's your first ride target, generally speaking. Your second ride target is to transition into the Legion. But honestly, you know, the end is still a great way, and it's still a very valuable card, you know, even in JP right now. So definitely very good. Lastly, we play 1 Dragonewt Overlord. Always a staple, you know, it's really nice as a tech option. Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle, Caramelast 3 to get +5, Drive -2, and the following ability until end of turn, Vanguard Rearguard Circle. When this hits a rearguard, stand it. So helps you mow down front row, again, because we're playing less retire options. We're not playing the 4 Noble Critic anymore, we're not playing the 2 or 3 Berserk Dragons anymore. The Overlord retiring, the Vortex Dragonewt retiring, and the end attacking into them, which is basically retiring, and maybe even the Noble Vag Persona Blast. These are much more vital, so be more wary of not just using these grade 3 abilities or placing them down because you can, because you only have so few retire. You have less retire options because it's really about building up that momentum and you know, finishing your opponent off with Vortex or Novel or the ends or Dragonewt Overlord. So your win condition mainly very focused on your grade 3s now. You know, your grade 2s used to be much more flexible, not as flexible in this build, but definitely very, very devastating. And just important thing is just, you know your options, and that's basically all you need to do. So I guess without further ado, let's get into a few games and check out this deck in practice. So of course, as I mentioned, there's the Perdition build, which is just, you know, playing the 4 Dragonewts, playing the 2 or 3 of the other Legion, but that's a bit underwhelming. You know, again, it doesn't really generate that much advantage, and I've noticed that Kagero doesn't really. All right, we're gonna be playing against Aquaforce. Stay hydrated, folks. Drink water. H2O gang. But ooh, very cute sleeves as well. So here again, you know, Overlord's a great first ride target. We have a grade 2, that's fine. We have Noble Romans, you know, maybe I'll drop 1. But 1 is always nice. To the end, so we're gonna open with basically the same hand as last game. We're gonna be playing in Mario, so this is the Maelstrom. Alright, we're gonna use Conroe actually. Generally starter, I still like to put it behind the Vanguard. You know, I can always retire it and get rid of it, but you know, it is a booster to actually enable the end to restand and actually have a boost into hit numbers without committing anything else from my hand for now. So they're gonna ride the self-damager, 6k, started generally behind the Vanguard as well, and a Tidal Assault. Alright, Vortex to the damage zone, but we draw into the null crit. We get to retire the Marios, which can be quite valued. But the question is, would I rather keep it for something else? Yeah, maybe. Mario's retire. Yeah, I think I'll keep it to retire the 4th attack enablers. What I can do for now is just call this out. And I'll search a Vortex Dragonewt. So we'll be discarding the ends to restand, right? So that's automatically another trigger I can return to the deck when I choose to go into Legion. So generally speaking, early game is the end, helps you plus and build up a hand, and build up a board and all that. Mid to late game, you're going to transition into the Legion, use the Persona Blast skill, deal a damage, try to push for game, and do that again. If not, go with an Overlord or go with a Noble Vag to seal the game. Damage, defensive draw, perfect. Shuts down that 3rd attack play, so unless they hit a trigger, they won't be able to plus out the Marios, and they don't. So that is one of the risks of playing a deck like that. So we're gonna go into the end. The end is never ending. It's been a staple for a very, very long time. But if you don't have it already, then if you pull the cross in GBTO1, GSET 1, then you'll also get a free DM. So there's that to consider. Here, is there anything really to retire? No, not really. I'm just gonna call this stuff out. It says intercepts. If we see a trigger, then we can actually scale up, but we don't. Alright, Mouse 2, we stand, draw 2. And get an extra swing. It's quite valuable. OPG, that's nice. Heal trigger, a little bit late, but that's, it's fine, We're not gonna hit any numbers because we didn't commit the Gojo, which maybe we should have, but that's okay. So here our opponents at LB4, they can definitely use Maelstrom to snipe out the Conroe, but that's totally fine. They missed the grade 3 as well, which is a big L. Big L. So that one defensive really changed the outcome of the game, because if they hit, they could easily search top 5 for a Maelstrom and be able to do a lot. So F-Force, generally, yeah, I think that's game. I just give up. I think we're gonna see Royal Paladins getting ready to dominate, but Kagero says not so fast. So here, honestly, I can keep this and guarantee my DN play, which is quite enticing. I do sincerely hope that I get to show off the Legion, because that's the whole point of the video, right? But I guess it goes to show that the end is still really, really strong, and there's a reason why it's still a very popular pick. Here we're going to be playing against Seekers, so the top dog of the first set of the Legion era. Are they still meta? That's definitely very, very questionable, but it is still quite strong nonetheless. Let's see what we can do. Another Noble Vag. So this makes me comfortable to just use it, use it right now. And get the end. And I'm not going to push anything out yet, because next turn strike in, strike in can attack on the Vanguard circle. So want to keep as many opportunities as possible to be able to snipe out rearguards, grade 2 intercepts if the opponent sets it up to a block or strike in play. So here, not placing intercepts, saving it for later, I'd assume. 12k beater, it's alright. With the Airmo, we're gonna use the Striking. And we're not going to do anything. Royal Paladins has to Counterblast 2 to retire. They don't have Counterblast 1 retire options. So that Conroe is safe. We don't want to commit any grade 1s yet because our opponent, if they set up 2 intercepts, then it is tough to break through and make use of that double crit the most. But our opponent only sets up 1 intercept, so you know, I call him like this. Even though it's kind of ugly, it works fine. And we are going to be taking 3 damage, which means we can potentially be using the end and Conroe on the same turn. But we healed out of it, that's fine. We have a PG in our hand. We have 2 actually. We're comfy. Generally speaking, honestly, I should have rolled the one with on the right side. Reason being is our opponent knows that this card, well, they don't know it's the end, but they know that it was a grade 3. But anyways, here we're just gonna call this out. This is fine. I still value the Gojo over the Airmo, but when you're low on resources, I definitely think that the Airmo is better because I can then, you know, boost and still filter with it. Gojo, I need to rest it and I can't use it, right? So here we're actually gonna the end. Just leave it. That's fine. Draw trigger helps us hit numbers. Very nice. We're gonna hit. Yes, perfect. Restand. So as you can see, if I'm not playing the end, my hand is going to be super scarce and clogged with some stuff that I can't really play out until really late into the game. But because we're playing the end, you know, we get to have a damage deny turn, we get to have a push turn, we get to have draws, and it's quite nice. So we're pushing them to 5. If they heal out, you know, we can Vortex. Don't be too picky about leaving your opponent to 4 sometimes, especially if you're not at 5. Because if you're like at 4 or below as well, it means your opponent has an opportunity to actually heal out of it, right? So generally speaking, even, you know, I don't necessarily care too much about, you know, holding them at 4 or whatever. Of course, it depends on a lot of situations, you know, what kind of resources are on the board, how many damage you yourself are at, how many counterblast open your opponent has. But generally speaking, I still push to 5 most of the time because your opponent can heal out of it. It's the Legion era. Heal stacking is very commonplace because you can actually return heals to your deck. So don't mind it too much. Even though it's optimal to be at, or put your opponents at 4 and then do the retire skill, you know, 5 is still fine, and it's one less 5k stage that you need to hit, build up your numbers over, right? So here we can actually. Well, we can actually use the persona and push, and I think that's basically what we're gonna do. So our opponent only has 3 cards in hand. This way, we're pushing 3 PGs out, and our Vanguard number is gonna be huge. So that's very nice. So again, even though it might be optimal to use this at 4, in terms of value, using the skill at 5 means that our opponent won't check a defensive, even though, you know, trigger or no trigger, it's still 5k, it's still, you know, 5k, right? So here we're just gonna use this. I'm gonna dump the heal. And because our opponent's at 5, we can afford to actually do the filter with Gojo. So I'm just gonna return the 4 triggers. Conroe is also a really great option because if you draw into it, counterblast 1, retire it again to pick up any grade 1 again. It's such a good toolbox option. And helps you find out the pieces that you really need and dig out those triggers. So here we're just going to use the Vortex Dragonewt, get rid of the intercepts. It's as simple as A, B, and C, and smack, obliterate them. 12k beater hits 12k, 9 plus 6 hits 15. So let's swing, asking for 1 PG, asking for the second PG, and if they heal, we have a 26k number that hits over the heal, and it's it's all good unless they double heal. We're gonna counter charge. That's very nice, and not gonna discard it at all. I think the PGs are good. PGs are good. Draw trigger is good. Drawing into heal, that's fine. We're gonna do that again, and this time, do they still have heals? They have 3. They have 3. Why did I have to? Why did I have to mention this? It's good content though, but. That's fine, you know, they have their Legion turn, they can Thing Saver, blah blah blah, but Yeah, we have 3 PG. I think we're good. I think we're good. And next turn, we can ride Novel to mitigate that stupid heal thing that happened to us more times than one. And we should be good to go. File searches out that Blast Seeker, gets the retire in. And also the soul requirement required for the Think Saber. This way helps them get the counter charge off with the Gringle Seeker. So they only have one guarantee, like, you know, more confident PG in their hand. The others are all RNG dependent. So 1 PG. So one thing when you're playing against Kagero is that, you know, if you know that they search for a Mari, and you know, they pinged out that one, then you know that 100% they have another PG, right? If they search for an SP and the one that got pinged out is not an SP, then you 100% know that there's another PG at least. So using that little information to advantage is definitely quite valuable. For the Kagero player, you have the option to tech out depending on the situation. For the opponent, you get a way to play around your opponent's options. So here we can't call this out, which is a shame. I might actually drop in and draw it. And how many Noble Romans do we have? 1 left. I'll like drop and draw. Ooh, another one that's terrible. That's terrible actually. I guess we have to call it the PGs. Do we call it the PGs? We have to hope that our opponent didn't draw into PG. Wow, this is a tough spot to be in. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Bari. On hit, discard 1, draw 1. Oh no! Oh no! That's a trigger. Oh no! Oh no! I think that's GG. No. No, no, no. Well, I think that's basically GG. We don't have intercepts, our front row or PGs. We don't have PGs in our hand. Things definitely went wrong. So, well, I guess we're just gonna concede and pretend this didn't happen, and we're gonna play another game and hopefully better showcase what's up with this deck. Let's try that again. So hopefully we can do this right. Let's get into another game and see this through. We're gonna be playing Kagero against Shadow Paladin. BD, at least stands for Blaster Dark, which is pretty one of the favorite units in this game. So here we have the Noble Roman, helps us with the the Noble Vag, and everything is pretty fine. So just not gonna be greedy. Everything is solid. Everything is good to go. So let's see. We are playing against Revengers with the Swordbreaker ride, which is nice for me because that means 1 less Soul Blast 1 draw 1 for them, and definitely hurts them a little bit. Any little bit is very welcome for me. So here we're actually gonna use the Noble Roman right now to search for the end, because that is our first ride target. And I'm not gonna swing more than once because our opponent could Blaster Dark away the Conroe, which wouldn't be very nice. I'm just gonna do this. Draw trigger, very good. PG, oh wow, that feels good, that feels good. Heal trigger here helps us at 17k numbers. Alright, we're gonna ride the grade 2, the only one we have. And Conroe is nice. Conroe is nice. PG. especially against Revengers. You want those PGs stacked up to fend off those pesky 3-6 plays. Draw trigger with Noble. So we kept our Noble Roman because even though we're going to be on grade 3 next turn, when you're in Legion state, you can actually return the Noble. So that's very, very nice. They have to ride the car. Oh man, that's not the card that you want. Definitely not. 11k, 14k numbers, but they can't even use the starter. So it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. Tar2 can't trigger because your Vanguard's on Revenger. It's not looking good for our opponent. It's looking very good for us. So hopefully I don't bite myself in the tongue like the Seeker game, and everything is smooth. Everything is smooth. So here we can actually Legion, get the yeah, I think Legioning here is fine. We're gonna skip the end. I think we're good to go. I'm gonna ditch one, draw one, because we can only return one after all. And hopefully we get something that can actually hit. Oh, another Mojo. We're not seeing any grade 2s this game. So Kagero. Putting Kagero back is still nice because you can search for any PG and all that if you want. So it's a nice and flexible option. Yeah, gonna use this. Helps us search for Dragonewt, so we can actually use the skill when the time comes. And I don't mind setting up the board like this, even though it's a bit ugly. It works. It does what it needs to do. It helps us hit numbers, and I want to prioritize dealing damage over the chance of healing, because pushing the opponent to 4 and then using the Dragonewt skill, pushing to 5 and go for game is exactly the winning image that we have going into the fight. So our opponent's skip ride car into car. We know this. We all Shadow players. We all know this too well. But car into car is still good. Into another trigger. I have to admit that I'm quite happy though. So just give up. You know, the car is just gonna swing at the 7k, 11k to 11k, and draw trigger to even. So another option, instead of Persona blasting grade 3, you can Persona blast grade 2. But healing here is quite big actually. So then we might not be able to push for lethal until unless we see a trigger. So maybe we'll save the Dragonewt for another turn. Yeah, I think we can save it for another turn. So we're just gonna do this. We're just gonna push here. 19k numbers works. So attacking with Vanguard first means that we can actually heal. There's no risk with attacking Vanguard first, in other words. So no reason not to. Pushing them to 5. So even if they heal again like just now, heal back to 4, we can still Vortex them back to 5 and have multiple attacks that can call for lethal. So the main, yeah, the main's good. Hope they don't draw into PGs. Hope they draw into their heals. I feel a bit villainous saying those things, but PG. So yeah. So the ends, that's fine. Yeah, I think vortexing here is solid. There's only 2 retire options, which is why we don't get one. We're just gonna call stuff out, and we're just gonna swing for game. And hopefully that's the end. Yeah, alright, perfect. So, maybe we can do one more. And, generally speaking, I don't make these many videos, but, when you have a lot of dud fights, I guess maybe I'm gonna try something new, kind of skim over them, and kind of showcase the good ones for you guys. So we're gonna Kagero versus Royal Paladin again. And hopefully this is the last one. And if this is the BB farmer, I'm just gonna end the video right here. I think. What's our opponent gonna do? What are they gonna do? Return 1 actually. So it is a. So yeah, I think that's basically the end of this video. Lots of clunky fights. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, give this deck a build. Let me know which build do you prefer. Do you prefer the Break Ride variant? Do you prefer the pure Perdition variant? Do you prefer this Dote variant, which I think BF also showcased? And let me know down below, because it's one of the few clans that have so many staples, so many good cards that you can kind of pick and choose how to build it and still have success. And definitely a really great pick for this season 20 and this metagame that we have. So honestly, not gonna showcase this fight. I don't think it's gonna be that valuable. Just gonna sack some crits, gonna search for PGs, block them, and then win. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it, and I will see you all in the next video soon. Bye.